Hello, Mr. Harry Houdini. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Mr. Houdini, pretend you are one of the boys that punched you before the act that killed you. How would you have felt after seeing what you had done?
I would have felt very ashamed. I mean, look what I had just done. Killed the most brilliant escape artist of all time. And then for the world to then know what I had done, I would have felt even worse.
Now, pretend you're one of the boys in the story and write your point of view.
One of the boys' views in the story would go like this. I'm a 15 to 18-year-old boy, and I am very curious about how the famous Houdini holds his breath for so long, and how he can withstand a hard punch to the gut, like any other normal person would. So, after my friends and I pondered this, we went to go and ask him. He was in his room getting ready for his famous water escape act. When we entered, he was standing at his mirror. I asked him, "Can you really withstand a hard punch and not have any aches or pain at all?" "Why, yes, I can, little man. Why do you ask?" At the next moment after he answered my question, I punched him right above his waist. He wasn't expecting it because he staggered backward in pain, grabbing his stomach. I could tell he was in a great amount of pain. "Run!" yelled my friend, and we left. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I just wanted to see if it was true that he could withstand a punch, but later it killed him in the tank.
Wow, very shocking. Can you describe the events if your servants were able to save you from the tank, Mr. Houdini?
Well, if my servants had managed to save me, I would have been relieved and yet still in pain from my punch. I knew I had to go on with the show, even though I was in deep pain. I would have gotten to the doctor as soon as I could to check and see what was wrong with my lungs. It would have turned out that I would have 3 broken ribs from the boy's punch. I didn't know I would die like I did. I would have been very grateful for my servants, for they would have saved myself from death if they had managed to open up those locks.
You had a lot of trust in your servants, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
What do you think the audience thought was the most compelling thing in your works of magic, and why?
I think the audience thought that me escaping from an innumerable amount of locks was the most compelling thing in my works of magic. I think this because nobody figured out or could figure out how I could possibly unlock a great amount of locks in such a little amount of time.
Ah, yes, and how exactly do you unlock all of those locks, Mr. Houdini?
A magician never tells his secrets.
Okay. My last question for you, Mr. Houdini, is if you could rewrite or redo the end of your life, what would it be like?
If I could rewrite the end of my life, I would want to have a son and teach him all of my secrets and tricks and how I do them, so one day he could be just like me.
Of course. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Harry Houdini.
My pleasure. Thank you.